It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
It's good to have you working around the boat with us on ShipShape TV. I'm John Greviskis. What I'm doing here is I'm removing the boot off of our 1978 Stamas project boat. In fact, Nick and I are going to be removing the engine and outdrive completely in order to fill in the transom, hang a bracket, and retrofit this boat with outboard power. Get ready, it's time to make your boat ShipShape.
ShipShape, America's favorite boat improvement show, is being brought to you in part by Mid-Island Marina, home of the VIP guarantee. And by Calusa Isle Marina, an entire island devoted to you and your boat. And by Fort Myers Beach Marina, over 60 years of doing things right. We now return to ShipShape TV.
Welcome back. I'm down to my last screw here on the boot, and what I've had to do is use a pick and scrape out all the anti-fouling paint that's been built up over the 20 some odd years that this outdrive's been hanging. That's so we could get a screwdriver on it. There we go. I've just about got this free. Nick, what's going on inside the engine compartment?
What I gotta do is, I gotta get this throttle cable out of my way. This cotter pin's hanging up. The throttle cable's stopping me from getting my shift cable out. There. Okay. Another thing I've been doing is, I like to work in a clean engine compartment whenever I'm pulling a motor out, so I'm not tripping on anything. A little safety hazard there. So I took the water tank and the battery, got them out of my way. Now I got this shift cable gone. I need to open up this box. This old OMC outdrive has a push-pull shift cable. It runs down into the drive. A lot of times when these things have been sitting for a while or they haven't been apart, the cables will stick inside the bell housing, and when you go to pull the drive off, it won't come. So we're going to cross our fingers here and hope that this thing's going to come on out. All right, let's see what happens here. And we need to get all of our shift cables and throttle cables, engine harnesses out of the way so we can get at all this. All right, looks like we about got it. There it is.
Now all I need to do is remove this rubber boot here, this cover, to expose our bolts here. This is what's holding the outdrive into place, and we need to remove them. We got 4 of them that hold these old OMC 800s on. We'll back them out. And then Nick, I think I got this about free. How you doing inside there?
Pretty good. Just got that shift disconnected. Hope it comes out. At times it'll freeze up.
You got a pair of dikes on you?
Yeah, I brought a pair down just in case.
Well, we're just about free here.
All right.
Got her off. Now, help me slide this thing off, and let's see if she comes.
All right, take your end and lift up a hair.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Let's hope that cable slides out. Nope. Okay, let's set her down.
Okay.
Let's cut it. Hate to have to do that. That's expensive cable, but nothing we can do about it. Okay.
Now, what are we going to do with this thing?
Let's set it in the back of the truck. She's heavy.
Maybe we could throw an ad in the boat trader.
Yeah, something as a package. Yeah.
A lot of times these things blow up.
Guys are looking for them.
Yeah.
ShipShape TV will be right back. Nick Freeman of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania asks, if someone owes me money, can I have his boat arrested? And when can my boat be arrested by someone else? Answer coming up from Maritime attorney Gail Hawks right after this. Here's today's maritime law question. If someone owes me money, can I have his boat arrested? And when can my boat be arrested by someone else?
Arresting a vessel entails going to the federal district court and asking the judge to issue an order allowing the U.S. Marshal to seize your boat or arrest your boat. It can only be arrested if a maritime lien exists. A maritime lien is established by law. Some of the items that justify maritime lien are monies owed for dockage, money owed for fuel, money owed for work performed on the vessel, or personal injuries that occurred on the vessel. It's an expensive procedure, and it should only be done after careful consultation with an attorney.
If you have a question for Maritime attorney Gail Hawks, leave it with the ShipShape TV memo board on the World Wide Web, www.spectacular.com/ShipShape-TV. This interactive website has all kinds of marine information, great articles, special offers, and free stuff like ShipShape t-shirts and coolie cups if we answer your questions on the air. And now back to the project.
Welcome back to the show. We're removing the outdrive bell housing and engine from one of our project boats here on ShipShape TV. And what we need to do now is take this boot off, the transom. Let's see if I can work her away. Nick, can you give me a hand with this?
Sure.
I guess we need to get this ring out of here.
All right.
Now, Nick, how hard is it going to be to get the engine out of this boat?
Pretty easy with these older OMCs. The engine, the bell housing, and this transom plate, they all come out of the boat in one shot.
Now, what about if somebody has like a MerCruiser? What would you do different?
Well, the MerCruisers are your Alphas and your Bravos and everything. They all bolt on pretty much the same.
Now, back up a little bit. You're talking about MerCruisers, Alpha, Bravo. What is all this stuff?
Okay, back in the mid-'80s, MerCruiser developed the Alpha 1 drive, which was meant to replace the original regular MerCruiser number 1 drive. It's a little stronger, handled a little more horsepower. They then went ahead and started putting those on some big blocks and stuff, and they didn't quite hold together enough. So being the industry leader that they are, MerCruiser came out with the Bravo drive.
Okay, now I see these Bravos on a lot of boats. What's the big deal?
Well, they're everywhere. What it did was allowed them to use big block power and some of the higher horsepower without transmissions, without this big TRS drive, which was a lot of weight. You know, less moving parts, less weight, good deal.
Well, talking of good deals, let's take a look at one of these new boats. I think you'll like it. Today on What's Hot on the Water, we're going to look at 2 additional Aquasports from our good friends out here at Mid-Island Marina. And we've got Tim Kendall with us today, who's one of the sales guys out here. And Tim, you're going to be showing us 2 different boats.
We're going to be looking at the 215 Explorer, which is a cuddy cabin outboard, and the 215 Dual Console, which is a bow rider style outboard.
Aquasport is known for its fishing boats, and now we're going to be looking into a little bit more versatile boat.
More versatile if you've got mom and the kids want to go with you, you know, whether you choose the cuddy cabin to be able to get out of the weather and have an enclosed head, or if you're looking for the idea of some additional seating, you know, more comfort seating than you would find on your conventional center console.
Now, both of these boats hold suit to Aquasport's integrity towards fishing.
Correct.
But with that bow rider, I mean, you can get into some skiing, you can get into some
skiing, you can, you know, do the knee boarding, or still just do the pleasure boating that you would do in a conventional bow rider, but you've gone away from the maintenance aspect because you don't have the carpets, you don't have the wooden floor, you have the all fiberglass finished, self-bailing, but you still have your fishing amenities as well as the fish boxes and the live wells.
Well, we've been looking at Aquasport for the past several weeks on the show, and really, you know, Aquasport has done some really neat innovations over the years. They're the ones that started the center consoles, and back in 1964.
In Sarasota.
And you see what kind of craze that caused. You know, with that center console, though, you know, people are more sun conscious today, and back in '74, I guess they developed the T-top, and giving guys shade, and then they developed the cuddy
Cabin and your molded in swim platforms, and now they've also gone to the all fiberglass stringer system.
Well, you know, Aquasport has responded to the woman's needs, and let's face it, when you're a mom and you've got little kids, you know, we've got a hot Florida sun down here, and it's really nice to be able to get out of that and have that privacy with that cuddy. Let's talk about the power options on this boat.
Power options, we normally do with a 150 or 200 horsepower outboard on both models.
Okay, what are we looking at price-wise?
Price-wise, you'll be in the mid 20,000, you know, 25, 26,000.
Okay. Aquasport, real integrity behind that name. Mid-Island Marina, you guys have a lot of integrity behind your name. You treat customers right, you do things right. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we do what we have to do to take care of our customers. We have what's called a VIP guarantee, which to you as a customer owning a boat from Mid-Island Marina guarantees you that within 24 hours, if you need any assistance or help with your boat, within 24 hours we will be physically working on your boat.
Even if your service department's backed up?
Even if we're backed up.
Now, the owner, Jim, he believes so much in customer satisfaction and that integrity that he actually gives out his home phone number.
And says if for any reason you can't get a hold of someone here, you can call him at his house.
That's service.
That's taking care of the customer.
Free pickup and delivery of your boat. These are all really, really good reasons to maybe consider buying a boat from the pros here at Mid-Island Marina.
No one will take care of their customers better than Mid-Island Marina.
That's great. Tim, let's talk about how we get to one of your 3 locations. You guys have grown so much.
We've got 3 locations. Right now you're at the Mid-Island Marina in Fort Myers Beach, which is in the middle of Fort Myers Beach. We have another location in North Fort Myers, which is at Scotty's Canvas on Old US 41 near Shell Factory. And we have one in South Fort Myers in Estero, which is coming from 75 would be exit 19, which is Corkscrew Road, up to 41, and it's about a half a mile north of Corkscrew Road.
You carry boats ranging from 16
to 24 with Aquasport.
Come on down, look at an Aquasport, go to a Mid-Island Marina, talk with Tim. You'll be glad you did. Pretty slick, eh, Nick?
Nice boat, John.
Hey, you know, we were talking earlier about the problems that somebody might get into if they have a different type of motor and outdrive. What would some of those be?
Well, on most of your newer drives, your newer OMCs, Volvos, MerCruisers, etc., you have to first take the engine and separate it from the bell housing. Get the drive out of the way, because a lot of times the drive slides down into the flywheel, so you can't get the motor out unless the drive's off. So
right.
Get the drive out, unbolt the motor from the bell housing, and then take the motor out. Then we've got the transom plate. And the transom plate is what the motor's going to hang on the inside, and on the outside, what the outdrive is going to bolt to. And most of the time they're through bolted with studs and nuts on the inside, so you can take the nuts off and then just pull it apart in half.
But in our case, we're going to be able to take this out into one
nice, clean, easy shot. This works out good.
Great. Well, what do we have to do next to get this engine out?
Well, we've got a bunch of motor mounts, and since we're not putting this motor back in, we're going to go ahead and unbolt the motor mounts from the stringers or the engine beds, pull them out in one shot. I'll get you get those on that side. I'll get them on my side. Let's get these bolts out.
It's pretty rusty down here. Hope they're going to turn. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to pull this engine. Let's come, Nick.
You good?
Here's what's coming up next on Shipshape TV. We now return to Shipshape.
Welcome back to the show. We left off before the break with Nick and I taking the motor mount bolts out, but we're not quite to the point of being able to hoist our engine out yet. We need to secure our fuel lines. And this is where the fuel line's located here on our 351 small block. But before I take off the hose clamp, I need to turn our shutoff valve to the off position. Now what I've done is I put some rags underneath this hose in case there's any gas in the line. We don't want to drip. Kind of want to be environmentally friendly here. We didn't have anything come out at all. Now what I'm going to do is put in a 3/8 bolt, kind of force it into our hose, put the hose clamp over, and then we'll tighten her down. Nick, what else do we need to do?
Well, we need to make sure we've got the steering cable off. Battery
Okay.
cables.
That all checks out. Those are off.
Ground cables.
That looks good.
Engine harness.
No, we didn't get that.
There it is.
Now, the engine harness, that's with all your gauges from the dash and everything. That's
Yeah,
kind of like
it's-
your main brain to the engine.
Key power and everything else.
Okay.
You kind of want to take a minute when you're at a point like this and just look all around the engine, because sure enough, every time you get one swinging, there's a wire hanging somewhere. So, you know, just kind of make sure everything's up and out of the way, nothing's hooked anywhere.
I think we look good here.
All right.
Now, how are we going to hoist this out?
I like to use a local tow company. I got a buddy of mine right here from L&T Towing. He's got a truck with a retractable boom. He can back up to the boat and get right over it, lift it out, boom, done. If you go to the store and get a cherry picker or something, you're going to go crazy trying to get one that's going to be tall enough or figure a way to get it out. That's usually the easiest way.
We'll give him a call. Get this over here. Get rags out of here.
Yes, L&T Towing. Is Tommy in? Yeah, Tommy. How you doing? Nick from Shipshape. Doing all right, thanks. Listen, I'm down at Seminole Boat Yard, and I've got a small block Ford I need to take out of the back of a 25-foot Stamas. Can you send the truck over with the boom? Okay. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks. Yeah, he's on his way over.
Super. Well, I guess we need to hook our chain up next.
All right.
And get it ready for your friend. We've got a couple of spaces here we can hook this thing onto.
That's it.
And she's going to be able to lift right off.
That's good.
Well, let's wait for Tommy and then we'll hoist the engine out.
All righty. Okay, take it up a little bit. A little more. Again. Keep going. Okay, we're going to check for any wires.
That's fine.
Yeah, we got this steering cable's corroded in. We have to cut it off.
Here's a bolt color.
Thanks, John. All right. There you go. Good. All right, Tori, take it up, straight up.
Okay, that looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah, I think we're clear.
All right, that's all I need. I can go ahead and pull.
Okay, we're clear.
idea, John. Well, we've had a hard day here at ShipShape TV, but we still have a few minutes left to answer some of your questions.
And now here's some answers to the questions you left on our internet site.
Man, was that a fun project, Nick?
Yeah, it was.
You know, our first thing that we're going to address is we had probably, what, 50 calls?
At least.
From some viewers, very sharp viewers, who we did a trailer episode a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And we put in the bearing seal before the bearings.
Before the bearings went in.
And you guys caught us. Good eye. Thank you for that.
Yeah, at least we know you're watching.
That's right. It was our fault. It was a mistake in editing, but our fault.
Guilty.
Nick, what else do you have?
Okay, I've got Ian from Palm Bay, Florida. And Ian saw the show with the cylinder heads where we changed the head gaskets and everything.
Okay.
And he wrote in that we torqued the head in 2 stages, which I've been doing for a long time. But he says he likes to do it in 3. Not a bad tip. So you guys out there might want to take note of that, depending on the size of the motor and whether it's a V8 or spreading over a long area, etc. He also said that if you use an extension, which we didn't use, but if you use an extension, you should come up with a formula to extrapolate the distance of the extension and the amount of twist, so you're going to change your torque settings, and that's true. I didn't bring it up in the show because I didn't want to scare everybody that it was a hard thing to do their head gaskets, but we know you're watching too, Ian. We really appreciate all you guys writing in. Thanks a bunch.
Well, until next week, guys, keep your boat ship-shape. It's a great project this week.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. You can fill that transom in, hang the bracket.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna grind
We're going to
around.
grind it all in now. Just a lot of fun coming up. Yep. Remember, I'm your worst nightmare.
But in our own defense, it wasn't our fault. It was my paper flew away.
ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
If you have any questions for us, write them down and send them to ShipShape TV. Attention Project Director, P.O. Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or you can fax it to us at 561-626-4348. Or leave a memo on the ShipShape memo board. Our address on the World Wide Web is www.spectacular.com/ShipShape TV.